I do walking tours of the 9/11 Memorial for the 9/11 Tribute Center. And I meet people on my tours from all four corners of the globe. On every one of my tours, I mention that most people don't remember what they did yesterday. But I have had so many guests on my tours come up to me and say that they remember every single detail about where they were and what they were doing on September 11th, regardless of where they're from.
When you talk to anybody, say, you know, and you tell them where you were on September 11th, they'll tell you exactly where they were, because even though they may not have been in the building, but they'll definitely remember where they were.
People always remember every single moment of that day around the world, because September 11, 2001 is not just New Yorker's story, it's not just my story, but it is international part of history and a history of every single person in the world.
And what I say to my guests all the time is, that's your 9/11 story, and you should tell it, because by telling it, by doing so, you help us to share history, and you help us to keep the spirit of what happened here alive. I'm inspired by that. That gives me so much hope.
I believe September 11th would be the equivalent of D-Day for certain generations, or Pearl Harbor, or when JFK was assassinated. You know, those seminal, you know, markers in your history, in your lifetime.
My cousin was in Pearl Harbor. My father and grandfather remember Pearl Harbor. These generations will need to remember.
I think it's important to try to remember some tragedies. Remember that life can be very precious and can be gone in a flash.
These are emotional memories that cannot be translated into a textbook. These are stories that we tell people, and hopefully the generation will understand this here and bring it forward to the next generation.
I feel that a lot of people use September 11th to remember the wrong things, to remember the divisions instead of what brought us together. And I think as more and more time goes by, more and more people just remember the hate that caused that act instead of the love that followed it. We were all one that day. People from New York, DC, all over the country and all over the world. Everybody was united. I think that's why everybody remembers where they were, because everybody's heart was here. I remember.
I remember.
I remember September 11th.
I remember September 11.
I remember September 11th.
I remember September 11th.
I remember September 11th.
Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Hey Jags, welcome back to another edition of Jag TV. I'm Rama.
And I'm Pratika. 22 years ago today was a moment that defined us as a nation. Congress has marked September 11th as an annually recognized National Day of Service and Remembrance.
Let's remember that for today, as we begin our sports update.
Even with last week's football game being postponed to Saturday, our team still crushed Damascus with a score of 47-14. Go Jags!
Today we have the boys JV soccer team playing against Whitman at 5:30 p.m. The boys varsity team will be playing against Whitman at 7:15 p.m. today. Both are home games.
The girls JV soccer team will have an away game at Whitman at 5:30 p.m. Girls varsity soccer will also play at Whitman at 7:15.
The girls JV volleyball team will be playing against Einstein today at 5:30 p.m. The girls varsity team will also be playing against Einstein today at 6:30 p.m. Both are home games.
The field hockey game was postponed to tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Tomorrow night will be a senior parent meeting in the auditorium at 7 p.m. We'll be right back.
Man, I love Five Guys. I love Five Guys too. Do you know who else loves Five Guys? Who? The Northwest High School Academy of Biotechnology.
And it just so happens we're hosting a fundraiser here in the Kentlands on September 13th from 5 to 9 p.m.
Tell all your friends and family and make sure that the cashier knows when you check out that you're here for us.
We'll see you guys then.
Bye!
Welcome back. This year's homecoming theme is A Night in the City. Tickets can only be purchased online at School Cash Online.
You must have no outstanding obligations to purchase tickets. Prices will start at $16. Ticket pickup will be September 19th to September 28th during lunch and after school, starting on September 26th and ending on September 28th.
This Wednesday is the first activity fair for 9th and 11th graders during JAGPAS. Next Wednesday will be the activity fair for 10th and 12th graders.
This is your chance to find some new clubs to join. Make sure to keep an eye out for the Jag TV table as well.
Speaking of keeping an eye out for Jag TV, we'll be having an interest meeting in about 2 weeks on September 26th. More details to come.
The Spanish Honor Society will host its first meeting of the year tomorrow in room 209 at lunch. Please see Mr. Ruiz if you have any questions.
Today in your English classes will be the class officer elections for class of 2026 and class of 2027.
Each candidate will have videos that will play during your class before voting, so make sure you choose the best candidate for each position.
There's a new club at Northwest, so calling all poets and poetry lovers, come out to the interest meeting for NW Poets. We will meet Thursday, September 21st at lunch in room 255.
We hope you come and join others who love reading and writing poetry. Before we end today's video, we have some birthdays to celebrate.
And with that, we have finished today's broadcast. I've been Rama.
And I've been Pratika. Thanks for watching, Jags, and we'll see you tomorrow.